Well, hello and welcome, everybody. I'm so happy that you joined me for the next edition of the Voices of Courage show. Listen, I'm doing a really amazing show today. We're going to be talking about an area that I don't talk a lot about, and that is entrepreneurship for the second act or the third act or the fourth act in your life. In other words, your next career. Some of you are in an age group where you're aging up a little bit. You've just retired. You've just decided that you wanted to do something completely different. Well, that's great that you made that decision. Now what? Now what are you going to do? Are you going to be able to really find your passion again? What is those things that you've maybe put on hold? Or maybe you haven't put them on hold. You've never even thought about them. Maybe now you're thinking about, what can I do differently that I've never done before? How can I open my entrepreneurial spirit? How can I open that creativity up and be able to really take my life to a new level, filled with more fulfillment and joy and happiness in my life than I've ever had before? Well, that's what we're going to be doing today. And listen, I got this amazing guest who had really changed up what she's been doing. She's going to be giving you some insights and understanding on how you can do that yourself. So if that's you, you're ready to open up your creativity. Maybe you're ready to develop a product that you're going to get on QVC or Today's Show or The View or something else. Maybe that's you. If it is, stay tuned because I've got this amazing show. But I got to take a really quick break for my commercial, and then we'll be right back with my guest.
Are you feeling stuck or in a holding pattern with your business or life and you're not doing the things you want or love? Then at some point, you're going to be faced with a decision. You'll either choose to keep living in your comfort zone and risk a life of mediocrity, or increase your courage, step into your power, and forge into the unknown, where everything new becomes possible. If you're truly ready to live masterfully, then you need Ken D. Foster's newest book, The Courage to Change Everything, Strategies and Wisdom to Transform Your Life One Day at a Time. This powerful but simple guide provides you with 365 days of life-transforming wisdom, profound questions, and action steps that will increase your strength and open the doors to success. Stop wondering why your business or life isn't working. The answers are available now. Imagine if you had more courage or another chance to start following your dreams. To pick up your copy of The Courage to Change Everything, visit thecouragetochangeeverything.com. That's thecouragetochangeeverything.com.
Today, women in business are helping each other prosper like never before by overcoming stereotypes, networking together, and sharing essential resources. Since 1991, Women's Wisdom, the premier business networking organization for purpose-driven, soul-inspired entrepreneurs, has helped women grow their businesses and become the best version of themselves. Women's Wisdom hosts online events with celebrity speakers, best-selling authors, and business experts dedicated to helping you, the small business owner, expand your possibilities, build new relationships, and get the right referrals. Take your business to the next level and join Women's Wisdom at womenswisdom.net. That's womenswisdom.net.
Well, welcome back, everybody. My guest today is in studio with me. I'd like to introduce her. It's Connie Inukai, and she's retired from teaching as technical writing at the University of Maryland and also Johns Hopkins University for almost 4 decades. And that was kind of her first act. And then she became an inventor, a grandmapreneur as such. as an author of the book, How I Got My Product on QVC, The Today Show, The View, and more in retirement. She's now working on her third act as a creator of Write Your Selfie, a program to help people write their life stories in pictures. Connie, welcome to the show. It's so nice to have you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for inviting me. And I love your show, by the way.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah. Let me ask you a question. How did you get on this journey, from a baby boomer to this creative individual that you are currently?
Well, I retired after so many years of teaching. I retired when I was 68, and I was very ready to retire from teaching, but I wasn't ready to retire from dreaming. Actually, now I had time to dream, because when I was a college professor, I used to stay up all night grading technical reports. And so now I get to do something that's so different, and I'm so happy with it. So I'm getting older, but so many people fear getting older. But I'm really grateful for that, because there's another alternative that I really do not want to address. So I actually embrace my age. I tell everybody, I think when I was younger and turning 50, I didn't like it so much, but once I turned 70, I kind of liked it. And I also call it the age of wisdom, because there are so many things we can do now with all of our experience that we couldn't do before.
Well, I like that a lot. And, the age of wisdom. Here's what I get. I get that, you're not your mom's 70. I'm not my dad's, age. I mean, there is a different, almost an ageless tone to what's coming on today for a lot of us. We're living longer, we're living healthier, we're living more vital, and we're contributing. Society has now gotten to a place where they're starting to embrace all age groups instead of just, a certain a younger age group. So, how has that impacted you? As you're part of this, right?
Right. Well, it's actually very nice to see. Now, it really doesn't impact me, because I would have done the same thing whether or not I was accepted. For example, I go to places where younger people don't go, like Instagram. I had no idea about Instagram, but I asked my neighbors' young kids, what is Instagram? How do you do it? What is Clubhouse? What is that all about? Because there are very few older people who go on there, but I do, and I don't really care if other people don't go. So I think that clearly society is accepting that boomers are more capable than most give us credit for.
Well, not only capable, I think there is that wisdom element that's there. And so, when I was young, I was very courageous. But courage without wisdom is dangerous. And I think that that's one of the things that as we mature and with experience, that we bring in wisdom to younger generations that can really support them. Exactly. Let me ask you this. You're a person now that has learned to tap into your own creativity and open up that creativity. How did you do that, and how do you do that so others can follow that path? How do you do that?
Well, that is my mission. It's to give baby boomers inspiration to follow their dreams. And there are 77 million baby boomers in the US. So I will give you some tips soon about what people can do to follow their dreams.
Well, I love that. I want those tips right now. What can entrepreneurs do? If you're in a different place in your life, and now you're opening up that creativity, and you've maybe never been an entrepreneur before, but now you want to be one. What can we do?
Well, first of all, I had to change my mindset. When I go into entrepreneur groups, they always talk about mindset, and I really couldn't understand it. Now I think just this week I changed my mindset. I'm not just somebody who's old and doesn't know anything. I am learning everything, and I will become successful in my next business, although I'm not doing it really for money, because when we're older, we don't normally do things for money as younger people do. we do it more for passion. And that's what I have found. I am passionate.
Well, you know, that's what I found too. And I think that passion piece is such an important piece. You know, it's finding that passion, finding your purpose now. And like you said, it might not be for money, but it might be to support your family, or you got grandkids that you want them to be inspired, or maybe you want to make the world a better place. Listen, I got to take a quick break, but when we come back, I'd like to continue on with this particular conversation. I think it's really powerful. So we'll be right back.
Are you feeling stuck or in a holding pattern with your business or life, and you're not doing the things you want or love? Then at some point, you're going to be faced with a decision. You'll either choose to keep living in your comfort zone and risk a life of mediocrity, or increase your courage, step into your power, and forge into the unknown, where everything new becomes possible. If you're truly ready to live masterfully, then you need Ken D. Foster's newest book, The Courage to Change Everything, Strategies and Wisdom to Transform Your Life One Day at a Time. This powerful but simple guide provides you with 365 days of life-transforming wisdom, profound questions, and action steps that will increase your strength and open the doors to success. Stop wondering why your business or life isn't working. The answers are available now. Imagine if you had more courage or another chance to start following your dreams. To pick up your copy of The Courage to Change Everything, visit thecouragetochangeeverything.com. That's thecouragetochangeeverything.com.
Hi, this is Ken D. Foster. Before we get back to my guest, I'd like to mention one of my new sponsors. They have a product that's going to help you if you have what's known as chronic venous insufficiency. How do you know if you have it? Well, your legs might feel restless. They may be swollen. They may be fatigued. You might even get cramps at night. But I want to let you know that relief can be found with VitaSupport MD's Vein Formula Supplement. Their Vein Formula Supplement supports normal venous function and was created by board-certified cardiovascular surgeon Dr. John Chupak. He's made it his mission to provide the highest quality supplements using only ingredients that are the highest quality, the best ingredients, and relying on scientific research from around the world. Dr. Chupak is at the forefront of educating physicians and patients about the important role dietary supplements can play in the management of vein and lymphatic disease. I encourage you to check it out at biosupportmd.com. Again, biosupportmd.com. Well, my guest, Connie, says that passion has no expiration date, and Connie is a living proof that the second act entrepreneurs can succeed if only they focus on what matters to them most. Well, how do we get people to focus on what matters to them most? How do we attach them to that passion, that purpose, Connie?
Well, I believe that we should not be stereotyped as society stereotypes us as being old. For example, just this weekend, I received a book, and it's called Women Inventors and the 7%. Because my first part of my second act was becoming an inventor, and this man Robert J. Baer said that there are only 7% of inventors are women. And so he wrote a book, and he asked me if I would quote something about it. And I think this relates to what you're asking me. And this was my quote. I said, "When we were children, we were curious about things around us. When does this change? Why does it have to change? I'm proud to be a trailblazer among women inventors and never lose my sense of curiosity." Does that
I,
explain
I
how I
really
feel?
like that a lot. And when I think about, that it's, I didn't know that statistic, 7% are women inventors. Man, we got to increase that a whole bunch.
Right.
So, there were stereotypes. There were, women should stay at home years ago, and women can't compete. And that, a lot of that's going out the window. And thank goodness. But now to be an entrepreneur, to be an inventor, what does it take to be an inventor?
Okay, so when I retired at age 68, my first thing that I did was to become an inventor. And the only reason I did it was because after you pass the age of 50, your eyes start getting worse. I don't know if that happened to you or if you're 50 yet, but I know when I would go out to eat in a restaurant with my friends, none of us could read the menu. So we would pass around reading glasses. We couldn't read the bill, and the restaurant was too dark. And I used to always forget my reading glasses, so I had to just borrow somebody else's. So I thought, why can't somebody invent something? So my invention was this. I call it a tip and split. And what it does is it has a magnifier on it. It has a light on the back, so you don't need a really strong flashlight like on the smartphone. And it also can figure out a tip and split the bill in 3 seconds. So you don't really need your smartphone at the dinner table, because most people my age really don't like having a smartphone at the table. Like if you go out to eat with your children and they take out their smartphone and they start texting their friends or, checking their emails, I think that's kind of disrespectful. Okay, so I invented tip and split. And how did I go about it? I had no idea. No idea. But I'm kind of adventurous, so I started reading up about inventing and how do you make a prototype and what you do. But I was kind of lucky because I'm divorced, and my ex-husband is a brilliant mathematician and electrical engineer. So he used to figure out where on Earth and in space to put satellites to give us the best reception. So he actually developed all the algorithms for my invention. So I was so lucky about that. And then I learned what to do next.
Well, what I like about that is that you didn't know how to do it. And that's what stops a lot of people. They don't know how to do it. But what you said is, I will take the next step, the next step, the next step. And you got on the phone, you made some phone calls, I'm sure. And you decided you're going to do it. And I think a lot of people need to know that. Forget about the how. I wrote a book called Ask and You Will Succeed, 1,001 Ordinary Questions to Create Extraordinary Results. And there's not one how question in there, because a lot of times when you go to how, the mind goes, I don't know how. But if you ask, what are the next 3 steps, you can do that. All right, let me ask you this. I know that this is a way for people that are aging to start to get their purpose, their power back, and stay active. Let's talk about staying active, because I think this is a really important piece if we're going to age gracefully.
Okay, staying active. Well, for me, I can't wait to wake up every morning. I actually wake up at around 5 o'clock every morning because I can't wait to do the next thing. So I'm very active. I used to go to a lot of trade shows before COVID came around, and I just was always active, and it keeps me young.
So if you keep
also,
young,
not
if
only
you're
physically
active, okay, there's some other pieces about being active, because I think when you're active, you start to stay mentally alert. And I think, yeah. And
mental activity is also important.
Yeah.
Because,
go ahead.
Obviously, when you become an inventor and don't know too much about it, you have to be mentally alert to constantly find out about what's next. So that keeps my mind going, and that's a part of slowing down the aging process. Because I can't imagine myself getting dementia. I have too many things to do in my life.
Well, it's kind of funny you mentioned that. I had a doctor send me a book, and that book was called, let's see what it was called. It was called the Buddha Never Had Alzheimer's. And it talked about quieting down your mind, slowing down your mind, meditating, learning how to meditate and that type of thing. But basically what he's talking about too is what you're talking about. It's like pursuing your passion, tuning back into your, mental acuity and becoming the best version of yourself at whatever age you are.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. So there are a lot of things that are very good when you're getting older. So mental activity, let me see, what else? Mental activity, physical activity, pursuing a passion. It's also kind of nice because if you're just living off of your Social Security, you can also, if you make some money, you can also supplement your pension. And it also keeps you social. For example, if I wasn't doing anything right now, I don't think I would have met you, Kennedy Foster. But now, because I'm doing something and I'm interesting, people want to meet me.
Well, that's why I brought you on the show. Listen, I think that there's a lot of folks out there that have parents or grandparents, and right now they're in that old model that says, well, you know what? After I retire, it used to be when you retire, you'd have like 7 years, something like that was the statistic before you died. Well, the reason that was there is because people weren't active. They weren't doing things. They weren't connecting with themselves, with their power, their passion, and they've lost their dreams. So I thought I'd bring you on because you're a person that's actually doing it. You're out there pursuing dreams. I love what you said. You said that, wow, I wake up excited. So and the reason I'm repeating that is because if you're a person listening to this show and maybe your mom and dad don't feel that way, or maybe they're maybe it's you that you don't feel that way. The question I always have is like, what has to happen for you to reignite that passion, that power within you? And Connie has found that. She's found it through entrepreneurship, through contribution, through helping other people. Connie, what do you think is the most important message that you'd like to tell somebody that is sitting there contemplating whether they should pursue a dream or not?
If you want to just sit around on the couch, I think you're too good for that. So maybe it's time to figure out what you can do with some of the experience you have. For example, I was a writing teacher. And now what I'm doing is I'm actually not teaching, but I'm writing. I've written 15 articles since 2020, 2 of them in Entrepreneur magazine. And I was really surprised because I'm not like on their roster, but I did that. And what can they do? Use your experience. I also, because I was a writing teacher, I wrote a book and to help other entrepreneurs how to get publicity. And the reason I did it is because when I first became an entrepreneur, an inventor, I hired some publicists to get me on TV. I paid a lot of money and I got nothing. So then I decided I'll write a book, and I'm not afraid to write a book. And the worst that can happen is nothing, but at least I didn't pay for it and I got something from it. So I'm always trying to do something. But let me just tell you, my major accomplishment, because I like to give back to the community. I like to see what's going on around me. And around me during COVID, I saw so many people not able to connect with their families. So many older people couldn't see their grandkids, couldn't see their children, couldn't see their friends. And what are they going to do? And they're also worried about COVID and dying maybe. So what I did is I decided to use that time to write down my life story so that after I'm gone, which is not going to be for a while, my family is going to know all about me, because I realized once I'm gone, nobody's going to know about me unless I tell them. So I call this program Write Your Selfie. And when I was doing it, I found out so many things, like so many people I'm talking to said, oh my goodness, my grandma just died and there are so many questions I still had to ask her. Well, one of my answers was I talked to some of my relatives and I found out something my mom never told me. And that is that her parents immigrated to the United States from Poland in 1912, and they had to miss their trip because my grandma had morning sickness, and the trip they missed was on the Titanic. So can you believe that?
Whoa, that's quite a story.
Yeah, once I'm gone, no, I've got other stories. So I'm helping people find their Titanic moment. And once my mom never told me, and my grandma, I knew her, but nobody ever told me that. So once I'm gone, nobody's going to know this story. So I'm having people dig into their ancestry so that once they're gone, those stories will be still alive, for their children and their grandchildren. So that's my big project now. And I'm having the time of my life helping other people write their story. And some people, anybody can do it. I'm not really doing anything special. Anyone could do it if they have the initiative, but I'm just giving them accountability and suggestions and, ideas about what to do. Okay. So I'm always thinking.
So Connie, let me ask you something. I know they can connect you with you at grandmapreneur.com,
Yes.
grandmapreneur.com. If they want to get a copy of the book that you've written, is that the same place they go?
No, it used to be a freebie on there, but wait, is it? No, it's not. But if they go on there, they can email me and I will send them. Is this the book you're talking about?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. If that's the book you're talking
How I
about.
Got My Product on QVC, The Today Show, The View, and more in retirement. And so if you want to get that, go to grandmapreneur.com and then email Connie and she'll let you know how to do that. That's what
I'll just send it to them.
Listen, I got to wrap up. I've got 2 minutes left in the show. So I would ask you final thoughts, but I got to go. So Connie, thank you so much for being here and inspiring us. I guess I'll ask you real quick, what is your final thought you got?
It's never too late.
It's never too late. That's perfect. That's the final thought here today. It is never too late. Thank you so much, Connie. And thank all of you for listening to the show today. I hope you take this show. If you got a grandparent, you got somebody that's a baby boomer, you got somebody in your life that you want to have them be inspired, have them listen to the show. It's a powerful show, as you know. This is Ken Foster, and I want you to continue to see the unseeable, know the unknowable, and do the impossible. And until next time, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Also go to our voicesofcourage.us if you'd like to see the replays, or just tell Alexa, Cortana, or Siri to play Voices of Courage podcast. It'll come right up for you. Take care. All right.